Hey, what's up everyone? Tetrick85 here, and today I'm making this video to talk about the US's 0-0 draw against Sweden in the second match of the Group D action of the FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. And you probably noticed right off the bat this video isn't nearly as long as the last video I did with them against Australia. And a big reason for that is there really isn't much to talk about. I mean, sure, a lot of the fans, including myself, are a bit disappointed that the U.S. wasn't able to win this game, but all honesty, there really wasn't a whole lot of chances by either team to really score. I think actually Sweden had the best chance of winning this game, but luckily the U.S. defense was able to hold off, and in particularly Julie Johnston is probably my woman of the match in terms of what she was able to do and keep it a 0-0 game. And another talking point which is worth mentioning in a rather dull game is that the whole handball thing against Sydney Leroux. And I have to be honest, I think if I was the ref, I think I would have called it a penalty. But that's just me. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting talking point there, which if that would have been a penalty given, then Sweden would have won the match, which in the U.S. Women's World Cup history, Sweden is the only team to have ever beat them in group stage, and if that penalty would have been given, then they would have been had 2 wins against the U.S. And it's also worth noting that I believe this was either the 5th or the 6th time that Sweden and the U.S. have played against each other in the Women's World Cup, which is the most matchups by any 2 teams in the competition's history. So, right there, and another thing is, too, that Sweden coach Pia Sundhage, it was, or however you pronounce her name, it was the head coach of the women's team in 2011 when they finished as runners-up behind Japan, and of course, Joe Ellis being a coach for the U.S. now, so there was another talking point there too, but for all of the build-up that was in this game, it really was a bit disappointing. I mean, I don't think it was a terrible game, but it definitely could have been a lot better. And even with this draw, U.S. is still on top of the group, and it's still going to take a lot for them to not advance in the group stage, and probably the most blatant one is going to be if they lose by at least 2 goals against Nigeria, which I honestly don't see that happening, but anything could happen, which luckily I'm keeping my fingers that it doesn't happen. But Nigeria they are a pretty good team. I know they lost 1-0 to Australia and gave them a pretty good match, but yeah, I just don't see the U.S. women losing to Nigeria. I really don't. And hopefully it's going to be a bounce-back game for them, even though Nigeria's speed may give the defense a problem. But as long as we get the back 4 stepping up and making plays in that, and they've really got to help Solo out better. But if they're able to fix up these problems, and I don't see them having much of issues against Nigeria. And hopefully the offense gets in sync too. Like, I know they did have chances versus Sweden, but not nearly enough to really look convincing or anything like that. And but yeah, there's a lot of question marks about this team and that, and there's a bit of uncertainty going on. But like I said in the last video, this is a veteran team. This is a team that's been in every single World Cup. They know what's expected of them. They know what lies ahead. And I'm still confident they're going to be looking pretty good once they get out of the group. But they just got to get all these question marks and all these doubts eliminated before they become a problem and it starts getting to their heads and that. And yeah, hopefully that won't be much of an issue much longer and that. And if they do get out of the group, it's going to be interesting to see who the matchup will be in the next round. But yeah, there's definitely things I need to work on. But I seriously don't think it's anything that's irreparable. I think it's stuff that between their inconsistent offense and there's still the fact that Hope Solo is doing most of the work in terms of their own side of the field. But I still think it's going to be corrected in that, and hopefully they'll have all these problems sorted out by the time they play Nigeria in that, and yeah, it is kind of weird seeing them vulnerable like this because I know, especially in the late '90s and early 2000s, and even in the '90s, that they were a dominant force. But excuse the back noise there. But anyway, I don't. It's weird seeing them this vulnerable and that. It's just hopefully they get these problems sorted out, which I think they will, and but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Nigeria game, and hopefully they'll come out with a win, and they can still advance with a draw. But I think all of us know that if they fail to beat Nigeria, then there is going to be a lot of questions raised, and it's definitely something that the U.S. women do not want to deal with as a veteran team like this. So. But yeah, thank you for watching this video and listening. I'm looking forward to any kind of comments and that you want to give me in regards to it. So, but yeah, let me know how you're feeling about this. And that's pretty much what I have to say about this. So, before I ramble on anymore. So, but yeah, thank you for watching this video and see you guys again next time.